The start of the sentence itself gives us a very useful clue to help us understand that we are being tested for the concept of comparisons. When we take a vertical scan through the answer choices, we can see that we have the comparative terms like similar to, as with, like, and all that. So when we are dealing with comparisons, we just need to keep two major rules in mind. Rule number one, compared items must be logically and grammatically similar. And rule number two, when we are making a comparison, we need to follow the norms of parallelism. But the easiest check is to make sure that the compared items are logically or grammatically similar. So let's look through our answer choices to see exactly what is being compared with what. So the original sentence tells us that similar to these other singers. Now, this is a noun phrase. So if it is a noun here, we just need to make sure that this is being compared with the appropriate noun. And in such cases, we just need to check for what is occurring after the comma. Now, GMAT could obviously try to trick test takers by putting a lot of unnecessary modifiers in the comparison itself, but we can ignore all these modifiers if they are present and just focus our attention on the noun that is immediately occurring after the comma. Now, in this sentence's case, we do not have any modifiers occurring after the singers, and we just need to check after the comma. So we can see that the noun following the comma is the music. Yes, this is a noun, but now the question is, are they logically similar? So you can't compare singers to music, so A goes off. Now B rephrases that slightly and says similar to that of other singers. So we have a pronoun that is introduced here, and obviously the pronoun is referring to music. So similar to the music of other singers, but after this comma, we have this person, Robert. So you cannot compare the music of other singers to this singer. So that comparison once again is invalid. B goes off. Now, usually these as with constructions are dismissed as something that GMAT does not prefer, but I don't want to take such a superficial rule into consideration. See, as with will be just similar to saying just like. So just like other singers, so the singers are being compared to this singer, Robert. This comparison works, so we can hold on to C. And in D, we have like other singers. And this is a trap because we see Robert here, but if we go a little further, we can see that it is written in the possessive form, which means Robert Johnson is not the subject here, but his music. So, like other singers, the singers are being compared to the music. That's the actual subject of this clause. So, that is an invalid comparison. D goes off. And in E, we have like this music, comma, the music of Robert. So, music and music is perfectly being compared here. We can hold on to that as well. Now, in the remaining answer choices, the real difference that we can see is at the end of these choices, this tradition beginning as and the tradition that began as. Now this is put in the present participle modifier form, and this is put in a relative clause form. And both of these are, yes, modifying the tradition, but how would we judge what exactly should be the right modifier? Well, the clue is actually further down the non-underlined portion. We can see that we have a conjunction and this usually serves as a trigger to check for the concept of parallelism. So if we read further, we have this verb evolved, and when you compare beginning and that began, the real form that would be parallel with evolved would be began and not beginning. So beginning would have been appropriate if this had read evolving. So we can understand this by judging exactly what the logic is trying to say. That this music arose from a certain tradition that began as these forms of music and evolved into some other form of music. So the began and evolved are in perfect parallelism. We can eliminate C. The right answer choice is E for echo.